Hey everyone, welcome back to Low Luxury, the channel where I show you what authentic luxury clothing and streetwear looks like. And you know what? We like wearing all sorts of stuff here on the channel, and it's usually menswear, and we haven't done women's wear before. And this episode is actually no different because this is by a label that does everything gender neutral. So this brand is called Eckhaus Latta. They're really cool. They do some really interesting designs. I love the colors that they choose, the little design elements they put in. It's so cool. So we've got this sweatshirt here from them, and I'm so excited to check it out. So let's do this thing. But first, I've looked into it, and a very small percentage of you are actually subscribed to the channel. It's completely free. Just press that button, and you will not regret it. Thank you so much. So this one comes in a very standard bag, nothing to write home about. It just got that kind of like fold over adhesive thing on the other side. But there is one good thing to look at here, and that is the retail sticker that comes with it on the outside of the bag. So this sticker has a lot of good stuff on it. You've got E-Lot, right, Eckhaus Latta. Then you've got a number here. I'm guessing that is the model number, or perhaps this one down here. We'll actually have to keep an eye on that. And then you've got, let's see, I guess that would be the season right there. Then you've got the model, so Tri-Stack Forest. You've got a size there, large. And then the model name, Raglan Sweatshirt. You've got a barcode down here. And you actually get a date. That may be the production date or the date they made the sticker, I'm not sure. But that's always good to see. It's cool. It's interesting to know when these things were actually made. All right, let's open this thing up. So I love this piece. As you can see, it's got 3 colors there, and it is, well, what do you know? It is cropped. I'm very comfortable with my sort of gender expression, so a cropped sweatshirt is a-okay with me, even if it is usually thought of as a bit more feminine. But before we get into anything too far, we've got to look at the retail tags that come with this piece. So this right here is a very large piece of just like standard thin cardboard. It's completely blank, like no print or anything on it. It's got the normal kind of cardboard texture on there. And then down at the bottom, just printed on there in black, so not embossed. You can't feel these letters. You've got the Eckhaus Latta logo. Take a look at that font and everything, like the T's touch, the nice centering there. All of that stuff is going to be consistent everywhere we see it. And the back of that one is totally blank, so maybe the most simple brand tag we've ever seen on this channel. And you know what? I don't hate that. Like, a brand tag, it's completely irrelevant, honestly, to the piece itself. And if you're trying to be sustainable, anything like that, you might as well just do it with a nice, simple, clean piece of cardboard. Like, I would much rather the money goes into the piece itself than the tag that comes with it. And that is attached with this kind of glossy tan string here, up through a clear piece of plastic, and then that gets looped right through the made in tag under the brand tag at the back of the neck. Speaking of which, let's take a look at that brand tag next. So as you can see, this right here is a red embroidered tag here, and you've got the Eckhaus Latta stitched in there. Again, that font and everything is identical to the one we saw on the retail tag that came with it. That text is nice and centered, and then this is stitched in with really clean stitches around all 4 sides of the tag. And then coming off the bottom of that, you've got this embroidered loop tag here in a light pink. And that's got the size, in this case a large. Then underneath in all caps, you've got where it was made, in this case Peru. And the back of that one is blank. And if we look to the back of the sweatshirt, we can see the other side of that stitching from the brand tag. If my camera will actually focus, it doesn't know what to look at right now, because that stitching, you know why it doesn't know what to look at? Because the stitching is so clean and subtle that it's barely there. But you can see it is red, and those stitches are just nice and tiny. They're tied off right there, and it's really clean. And now it's time to take a look at the care tags inside the sweatshirt. So these would be on your left-hand side if you were wearing the sweatshirt, and they're stitched right in really cleanly into that side seam there. And all you get is a single tag. It's a very glossy kind of dark gray or dark silver. And the front of it is completely blank, except for the bottom when you get that logo. Again, that's consistent. And on the back of that tag, you've got where it was made, again, Peru, and that is all in caps, centered. And you get fabrication, in this case 100% cotton. Then your washing instructions in English. Again, all of this is centered. You get some symbols there. And you get a little slogan. I love when they give you slogans, a kind of vibe on what they're thinking with these pieces. So this one says, "I miss killing time." Honestly, kind of interesting in the age of COVID and quarantining and stuff, but we'll leave that for another day, those interpretations. And finally, at the bottom, you get the model name, Raglan sweatshirt, and our model number there. So that's the one that we want to be looking at from the retail sticker. And then finally, at the bottom there, it's so hard to see, but you get an RN number, and then it says Happy Times Cafe. I have no idea what Happy Times Cafe is, but I love the name. I'm all about it. And then you can see that stitch right there where it's going into that side seam. So it's a single, super clean, super tight stitch. All right, now let's dive in and look at this piece and take a look at all of the unique details that make it so sick. So first off, I just absolutely love these colors. So as we've looked at, it's kind of 3 strips, but you can see as you get closer in, it's kind of like a tie-dye watercolor effect. From a distance, they look like just 3 colored bars. When you get in, you can see the kind of bleed, and I find that so appealing. Another good thing to look at is the stitching. So as we discussed, these are raglan sleeves, so it goes all the way up below the shoulder there, and you also get a really nice, interesting wave right across the stomach and chest, like across the torso there. The fabric itself is like mid-weight, I would say, but it's like a really tight knit if you can look into that texture there. The hem is split at the sides, which I think is really important for a cropped piece. Like otherwise it might look a bit too elasticated right around your stomach, but this kind of opens it up a bit, which I like. The neck is almost like a mesh type of deal, and it has a lot more stretch to it than the body, which is awesome. The same goes for the cuffs here. Again, I love that amount of stretch. I just, it lets it fit more to you, so I always appreciate that. At the back of the sweatshirt, you get, oh my God, look at that. You get a nice little logo going down vertically in gray. And this looks printed on, but it is actually a rubber applique. Like each of these letters sticks out of the sweatshirt itself. So that's really, really cool. And another thing I really like is how this goes along with this stitch right here. So it starts with this wave in the back and then comes straight down the middle. It gives me a kind of like Rick Owens vibe. He always does that stitch down, straight down the back there. And finally, if you look to the inside of the sweatshirt, the knit is a bit more open there. And it is a bit like rougher, but also softer at the same time. Like it gives it a really nice kind of, it feels almost cool in a way. It's hard to describe, but I vibe for sure. And now that we have checked everything out, I think it's time to try this piece on to see how it feels and see how it fits. So I'm actually really excited to talk about this piece because I can totally understand anyone saying this is not for me if they're a man, because most men, a cropped sweatshirt is not the look for most men, but I'm personally all about it. You can have a lot of fun trying out different things to come out from underneath. Like if you did a button down in some way where you've got the collar over the top of this crew neck sweatshirt, and then you have the bottom, the tail of it and everything coming out from underneath, I think that's a really cool look. The feel of it is great. It feels really breathable. I like the way that it kind of falls off of me, and it's a really nice fabric. I just like it a lot. The fit, though, is an interesting one. So, like I said at the top, Eckhaus Latta does everything gender neutral. They don't do any pieces gendered. However, that being said, I have a feeling that they assumed that it would be much more women buying this piece than men, because it is tagged as a size large, but in men's sizing, to me, this fits more like a small or medium. So if you're thinking about buying from them, I would definitely do a bit of research, and potentially because they size for both sexes or anything in between, I would say if you're a man buying it, you might want to size up from your normal size. So that is how you tell the difference between real and fake Eckhaus Latta clothing. Take a look at the other video on screen here, subscribe to my channel, like this video, and I'll see you next time.